Any thoughts here on the Raiders, Brett?
I think they have. They had 75 yards of total offense last week against the Eagles defense that's been beat up a little bit.
Genty's dead.
Did they get 50 this week, Brett? Over under 49.5.
Dude, I don't. This is so bad. So.
Their implied point team total is 11.8. I
I
don't think I've ever seen one lower.
And you know what's crazy? They've done the less than 100 yards of total offense this year twice.
Yeah, that Chiefs game, right?
Yeah. So there's another one right here where they're probably going to go under 100. It's
Genty's rushing props like over 9.5 yards now. It's not that bad.
He's going to have a 14.5 rush attempt total with 9.5 yards.
No, exactly. Rush attempts over 8.5. It's like, I can't do it. I'm taking the under. Good Lord.
What?
Why are you shaking your head?
You're welcome. What is going on, everybody? Happy holidays and welcome to the Week 16 edition of Matchup Points here at fantasypoints.com. I'm John Hansen, Graham Barfield, and Brett Whitefield ready to rock and roll, and we need to keep up the pace here. We've got 16 games on the Week 16 docket, so let's get to it. The Rams at the Seahawks, and difficult game to wrap your head around. Graham, I'll go to you. Are you completely punting on the Seahawk backfield, or any thoughts on the Ram backfield? I personally like Kyron to have a solid day. I like the receiving prop, FYI, and I've personally given up completely on Ken Walker.
Yeah, I'm right there with you at this point. This backfield's just been completely useless over the last couple of weeks. It's like, we know it's a split in terms of, the snaps. We know Charbonnet is going to get a lot of the goal line work. And yeah, this is just a worst possible matchup too. I think the Rams have become one of the best run defenses in the league, at least over the last 8 weeks, bottom 6 in terms of yards per carry allowed, success rate allowed. So yeah, just full fade on this backfield. I don't know how you can really trust any of these guys in the semifinals. Rams side is a lot more interesting to talk through, especially without Devontae Adams. I think in this spot, they just go heavy 12, heavy 13, multiple tight end personnel. Obviously, they have the bodies to do it. Colby Parkinson is getting more targets. Terrence Ferguson actually led this group in route share last week.
Yeah.
This, to me, kind of screams that the Rams are a little more run-heavy than usual, especially given the way that they're going to have to line up. But, Brett, I wanted to get your thoughts on this because, this is objectively a pretty tough matchup for this offense, right? But if there is one spot where Seattle has struggled this year, it is against tight ends.
Yeah, Chris called me about the same question earlier, so we talked through it. First and foremost, you're not slowing down Puka, right? Puka's a lead against both coverage types, man or zone. He's got a 78% catch rate against zone, though, 13.7 yards per target. So that's pretty fantastic. Yeah. But I think Colby Parkinson's the play. He's been on a tear. This guy, he looks awesome too.
Yeah. Some
of it's scheme driven. They do a really good job of giving him one-on-ones, but gosh, this guy's got 6 touchdowns the last 6 weeks. His targets have come way up. Here's the thing that really kind of blew my mind. He's got better separation metrics than like Evan Ingram, George Kittle, Trey McBride, like guys you would consider to be elite route runners. Colby Parkinson's got better separation numbers than all of them at 6'7", 265 pounds. So, he looks really, really good to me. And I think, Adams has kind of been their goal line back.
Yeah,
down in the red zone. I think Parkinson probably kind of takes the role, which you've already seen a little bit, right? The 6 TDs in 6 weeks. But I think Parkinson's probably the new guy they draw fades up to.
I would have to totally agree. The only problem is, and there's nothing we can do about it, is we can make this call. We can have all the analysis, and then frickin' Ferguson scores or what's his face, Davis Allen. You know what I mean? But no, point taken for sure. Going to have to be, I believe, the running game, the running backs, and these tight ends. Brett, what about Sammy Darnold? He, of the 4 interceptions in this previous matchup, I would say, simmer down on enthusiasm for everyone but JSN, who does. I guess they're all good schematic matchups for JSN at this point, but your thoughts on Darnold in the passing game?
Yeah, Darnold just looks a little lost. You kind of saw it start to crack week 6. I think he took one of the worst safeties I've ever seen, and then since then it's been pretty bad, including the 4 interception game the last time these two teams played. What's crazy is the Seahawks were still in that game despite Darnold.
Yeah, they were. Yeah. Well, if Darnold melts down again, I mean, we may have to call it, come up with some sort of nickname, because this guy he devolves as the season progresses, which is not how it's supposed to be. But, we'll see. We'll see how he finishes up. Obviously, the playoffs are everything. Moving on to the Saturday games, Philadelphia Eagles at the DC Commanders. Eagles are really annoying because, Graham, for example, I would be, a lot more high on Dallas Goedert on a weekly basis if I had some trust. Though I think in this one, I do trust it, quite frankly. It's such a good matchup here. But your thoughts on Philly's offense? Also, look, I start him if you got him, right? And Barkley, Hurts, Brown, Smith, Goddard, they all look way better than usual.
This is one of the few offenses this week where I feel like that, start them if you got them, even given all the problems the Eagles have had in, this entire season. I mean, they've just been gone from dysfunctional to like being really good in good matchups. It's been a broad, spectrum of what we've gotten from this offense. This is just a best possible matchup. Commanders defense, you look at the last 8 weeks, I mean, they're bottom 5 in basically every metric that matters. Doesn't matter if it's on the ground, through the air, they're giving it up. I'm with you on Goddard and especially Devonta Smith. Smith's kind of taken a back seat to A.J. Brown, rightfully so, over the last month. I mean, A.J. Brown's playing out of his mind, back to, full form, but Commanders have been just getting shelled by slot receivers all season. This definitely, kind of sets up as a Devonta Smith bounce back. I think the only concern I really have here, though, is how close can the Commanders keep this game with this offense kind of struggling, and obviously their season circling the drain, but Eagles have not exactly been good on defense, especially on the ground as of late. So, I think this game has a clear chance to shoot out.
Brett, how do you think Mariota's playing? It's not bad. And the schematics of this matchup actually pops. And I do like Terry McLaurin. I mean, I guess they could put Quinyon Mitchell on him, but based on the alignment numbers, it will be more Adoree Jackson. You don't have a lot to work with here, which is scary, but it seems like Mariota's playing pretty well.
He's playing better than expected, that's for sure. I think Kingsbury's a good marriage for him because Mariota traditionally has been a guy who holds the ball forever and invites a lot of chaos, where Kingsbury's having him get that ball out quickly. I think in that offense, he's averaging like 2.4 yards time to throw, 2.4 seconds time to throw. So that's pretty low for Mariota's career.
Yeah, and he does seem to love McLaurin. I mean, some of the data on McLaurin's kind of crazy, like even doing well against too high, which has not been his deal. So I think we're looking good here with McLaurin, but we're not going to trust anybody else. Plus, the backfield looks like it's going to be a kind of a game time decision here. But I will say, we told a lot of people on our live stream on Sunday, Graham, that once we saw that Rodriguez is out, I'm like, hey, go with it with Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. He looked pretty solid. What will your confidence level be, though, in Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt if Rodriguez is out? Does it all come down to Jalen Carter?
I think it comes down to Chris Rodriguez. Kingsbury has been very clear that he's kind of been their 1A back. I think it was also just a best possible matchup last week for JCM against the Giants. I mean, this Giants run defense is like so bad. His long touchdown run, I have not seen a hole that big this season. It was unbelievable. Like literally anybody could have scored.
He could have skipped into the end zone.
Basically, yeah. That that long run, like that was unbelievable. So yeah, I mean, much tougher matchup this week. Even if Jalen Carter does miss, it's still a tougher matchup. Obviously, game script is a big part of that. Commanders, led throughout that game. Yeah, I think you just avoid this backfield. Avoid Deebo Samuel this week, too. Yeah, Eagles are holding opposing slot receivers to a league low by fantasy points per game. That's where Deebo's mainly lining up. So I'm with you. I think it's really just Mariota and McLaurin this week.
I have a slightly different perspective on JCM. If he gets the whole backfield to himself with no Rodriguez, I kind of like the matchup. Eagles, second lowest stacked box rate in the NFL, 14%. That's where JCM's done really well in favorable box count situations. That's true for most running backs, obviously, but they run a ton of outside zone. And when you don't have that stacked box, it's a lot easier to win the corner or find a cutback window. Eagles rush defense too has kind of been bad lately. 17 explosive plays the last 5 weeks. They're giving up 4.7 yards per carry the last 5 weeks to running backs. So If it's a big if, but if JCM gets the backfield, I kind of like him this week.
I started looking because late in the season I stopped doing the trade article, so I replaced that time with looking at running back O-line matchups. Basically, Washington Philly is the top 10 one in our database. There, they get just under 2 yards per contact before contact per attempt, and Philly gives up about 2, so that's not bad right there. If you need Ja'Cory Krosky merit, Chicago Bears hosting the Green Bay Packers, big game, and it does look like we're going to get Christian Watson, which is great news. Brett, it seemed to me that the wind went out of their sails when Watson went down. What happened to Jordan Love last week? Started out on fire, dropping dimes, and then it just kind of devolved from there.
Yeah, it was kind of went in conjunction with Zach Tom too, right? Zach Tom left the game.
That's right. The right
Denver's
tackle.
Pass rush is nasty, and I think it eventually just kind of wore on Love. The pocket was pretty much crowded the whole game, and then eventually just kind of got into his lap a little bit towards the end there. So, that's a tough defense to operate against. And like you said, he did start on fire, and unfortunately couldn't finish strong. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's a little bit of a middling option here this week. Got to get the multiple touchdowns, but the Bears can put up a fight. That's for sure. It's in Chicago. So, Graham, the backfield, we talked about it's like we're broken record here. Just start DeAndre Swift, period.
Yes.
I mean, the guy's getting it done, getting the ball. O-line blocks it up well. It's kind of their identity. Monangai if you need him. Don't know about Odunze here, but of course, Burden's also banged up. So it could be Colston, Loveland, a clock, Graham.
I think it is. Yeah. You look at the last 8 weeks. I mean, he's tied in 7 by fantasy points per game. Obviously we've got the horses at the top, and then basically everybody, from like tight end 4 to on, John, is just like kind of the same guy. Loveland is at the top of that. He's got some legit upside in this spot too, especially if Odunze and Burden miss this spot. DJ Moore obviously would benefit as well, but Loveland's route share would tick up. He obviously can play a little bit at receiver. They'll stick Olamide Zaccheaus in the slot just to kind of burn that. But I mean, yeah, you mentioned DeAndre Swift. Last week I thought this backfield would be a little more split, and it was. But I mean, Swift just continues to ball out basically.
Ball out.
I mean, he's been their goal line back as well. Clearly over Monangai, so. Yeah, it did seem like there was some fragility with his role for a lot of the midseason, but yeah, I'm with you. I mean, close spreads, Swift should get the ball a ton in this spot.
I'm going to retroactively give myself credit for, granted we skipped it half a decade, but I did like Swift coming out.
Oh, I did too.
Yeah. And I bailed. I kind of annoyed me when he went to Philly and ran a little harder than he did the year before in a contract year. But hey, he is backing it up. Multiple years now in Chicago. And Brett, I like both of the running games here. Look, doing my little O-line research, it looks like it's a good spot for Jacobs. They give up, the Bears do the 4th most yards before contact, and then also not bad as well for those Bears.
Yeah, Bears run defense has been pretty poor all year. That's been a consistent trend. Their pass defense has gotten a little better while their run defense has stayed pretty bad. I almost brought Jacobs to your show today to tout his prop. It was just a little too high for me, just a little out of reach. But
yeah,
he's
hard to trust.
Yeah, he's hard to trust. And I do agree on the Chicago boys, though, Swift and possibly even Monangai. Green Bay is banged up on the D-line. Devontae Wyatt is out, and then Micah Parsons obviously done for the year. So I think that's a big deal. You started to see them slip even with Parsons on the field because Wyatt's a monster. He's one of the most underrated players in the league. So with him out, they've been just kind of a mid-tier team against the run, and now that Parsons is gone, I expect them to take another step back.
Yeah. And then, if they don't have Burden and they don't have Odunze, then that certainly puts DJ Moore in the mix here. I still don't trust it. It's still more of a desperation. I've got him in the Fantasy Points Dynasty League. I have a pretty crappy receiving core, and we could start an extra flex, so I start him every damn week. Of course, I lost Mahomes this week. Had to go. I'm going with Kirky. That's a drop off right there. But hey, Kirky outproduced Mahomes last week, so maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Moving on to this one here is fascinating. Tampa at Carolina, and looking at the totals here, Brett. it's down the board a little bit. It's the 8th highest total. It's like right in the middle at 45.5. I know we talked about it. You have an angle on Godwin that I can sign off on for sure. But what about Baker, man? Like, how much do we trust Baker these days? I guess probably should, given the full complement of weapons these days.
Yeah, he hasn't really played great since was it the shoulder he took at the end of the first half of a game recently. It's kind of been a mess since then, but yeah, Panthers pass defense obviously not very good. 7.57 yards per attempt allowed, one of the worst EPA per dropbacks allowed in the league. 21 explosive pass plays allowed over their last 4 games. So yeah, definitely gettable. I like Godwin a lot. They're noticeably worse against slot receivers and outside receivers. They're giving up over 10 yards per attempt to the slot. Actually, sorry, 9.3 yards per attempt to the slot. So I like Godwin's prop a lot in this game. I also think Godwin's looks really good. He kind of passes the eye test. And,
Totally, yeah.
Yeah, they kind of need him to be their chain mover and you know, early clock guy that gets the ball.
I love that one. I really do. I mean, lost that game last week as well. Like, to your point, yeah, it's great you got Big Mike going, but let's get a little bit more of a complete attack here, all areas of the field there. And I think both running games, Graham, are going to be relevant. Well, we know Carolina is going to be relevant because they try to be very, very relevant. But, these Bucks give up 2.57 yards before contact. So pretty good matchup there. On the other side of it, Bucky as well. So this will probably be kind of more of a slugfest with their defense and running games.
I'm with you. I think that's what kind of stood out to me as well in this matchup when I was going through notes. I mean, you look at the last 8 weeks, Carolina's arguably been the worst run defense in the league, and Tampa Bay has been cracked too. I mean, they were really good like first 8 weeks of the season. Last 8 weeks been terrible. 4.6 yards per carry allowed. John, we were talking about this backfield last week. We thought it would be 60-40 Rico, and that's kind of what it was. It was 60-40 Rico. He did double up Hubbard in terms of carries. Obviously, Hubbard plays a lot more in passing downs, but definitely a little more trustworthy for Rico this week, especially in this matchup. This should be a really close game. Just a 3-point spread. My note on Baker is that he's been kind of awesome, and Mike Evans starts this year, QB6 by fantasy points per game in those 4 games with 20.1. That would tie Jalen Hurts as the QB6. So I'm trusting Mayfield this week. I know he's been up and down. To Brett's point, he's not looked like the same player since he got hurt a few weeks ago, but obviously must-win game. This game kind of decides the division. He's got a full complement of weapons here. I mean, Mike Evans, just put him in the Hall of Fame, man. Give him his jacket now. He looks incredible.
Yeah, he really did. I couldn't believe that prop last week. I was like racking my brain here. I talked to Tom Brawley after I already submitted the picks of over on Evans' yardage. He's like, yeah, it's been bet down. I'm like, what? But, logic prevailed. I mean, the guy, you don't come back from a broken collarbone. You don't half come back. Either you're good to play
exactly.
or you're not. And he practiced a little bit the week before. Brett, any thoughts on Tet? Because, I don't love it. I mean, not the greatest schematic. I mean, he's the go-to guy, obviously. But Coker, I've been giving him some love. He's kind of coming on here 2 weeks in a row at 15-plus points. But any thoughts on Tet? Not the greatest schematic matchup. You'll see a lot of Jamal Dean as well.
Tet got banged up 2 or 3 games ago, and since then he doesn't look the same at all to me.
He didn't practice today. He's got 2 injuries.
There you go.
So
there you go.
Barely moving out there. So
okay, well that would bode well for Mr. Coker, who, I became a cokehead in season. What can I say? I wasn't into it in the summer and all that. I know a lot of people were hyping him up last year. He looked pretty good, but yeah, they need a second guy. Leggett did pretty well. Buffalo at Cleveland. Brett, I know you have some thoughts on both running games. We are now officially measuring Quinshon Judkins' production with a ruler. It's that bad.
Yeah, I came on your show today and touted his under 58.5 rushing yards, which seems counterintuitive considering they're playing the Buffalo Bills. But man, I got to tell you, it's rough on these Quinshon Judkins streets. 3.2 yards per carry since week 4. He's got the worst success rate in the NFL since week 4, and the highest stuff rate in the NFL since week 4. So it's bad. There's no efficiency. Also, the explosive runs have dried up. He had think 3 or 4 explosive runs in the first 4 weeks of the season. Since then, just a 2.2% explosive run rate. It's been bad. Does
this feed the narrative when you have a young rookie quarterback as opposed to a veteran like Joe Flacco that they're going to stack the box? It sure seems like it.
Yeah, there's definitely some of that. Judkins, he is top 10 in stacked box rate, so he's seen a lot of stacked boxes. Shadur's definitely not helping either. They're behind the chains so much. It's like it's impossible to get a run game going or get a pass game going.
I mean, that help that the entire right side of the line's hurt too.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, they were really beat up last week for sure. Which is why I thought, I'll go over 8.5 yards. Dude caught 3 balls and got negative yardage.
Yeah, that's a bad beat.
Outproduced him.
That's a bad. Dylan Sampson's hurt too. He should get a ton of passing down work, but man,
I mean, they're all bad beats for me, Graham.
Yeah, that's a bad one. I mean, to get 3 catches and not do anything with it is pretty brutal. I'm with you guys on Judkins. I can't get there beyond like low end flex status. My only other note on the Browns offense is like the Bills have been awesome against tight ends this season, but that kind of doesn't really apply to Harold Fanning because he's a wide receiver, runs 60% of his routes out wide, got 15 targets last week, I think. I played him in DFS in every lineup, and he was getting the ball nonstop. Obviously, Shadur missed him a few times. He had a bad overthrow on him. What would have been a big chunk play, but I think you just keep playing Fannin. My only note on the Bills this week, John, is that they did play Khalil Shakir in a full-time role again last week. Dalton Kincaid is hurt, clearly not moving well out there. He's got a knee injury, didn't practice today. So I really do. We're back down to it's just Shakir in terms of the level of trust. Yeah. It's really low with the Bills, like really, really low. They could just cut his route share down at any time. But I do think with Kincaid, a little less than 100%, it makes a little sense this week.
He'll see Miles Harden often, who's giving, and the prop, I've already looked into that, 47.5 is not too shabby.
Yeah. Did you guys see the drop Brandon Cooks had on the first play of that game the other day?
I missed that.
It was hilarious. He triple bobbled it. I mean, he was running with the ball for about 20 yards.
He basically like dropped it. Like I don't know, right? Like a
he was juggling it as he's running for like 20 yards and just ran right out of bounds without the ball. I mean, it was freaking hilarious.
Wow. I missed that. I don't know how the hell I missed that.
It was such a microcosm though of the Bills receiving core this year. It's just like, oh my God.
It reminded me of like how a receiver is dropping the ball out of like right at the goal line basically as they're crossing it. Like how do you not complete that? Like it's unbelievable.
Isn't that hard to believe though? Brandon Cooks and Mike Evans, same draft class as like OBJ, who has been relevant for like a half a decade. It's unbelievable. I was a huge Cooks guy. I remember
that. Yep.
I loved him, but he's kind of underwhelmed, quite frankly.
Ever since he left the Rams, that was kind of it.
I'm still butthurt because I thought Peyton would use him a little bit better than he did.
Yeah, they got into some fights from what I've heard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyway, what else do we have here? James Cook. I know you love James Cook.
I do. His line this week is 81.5, but we're comfortably projecting him over that. Cleveland, they were touted as having one of the best run defenses in the league, and they started that way.
They're dead.
It's not been good lately, though. I mean, they're 4.4 yards per carry allowed the last 5 weeks, but it's been even worse since the Malik Collins injury, where now they're up near 5 yards a carry. Teams have gone over 160 total against them the last 2 weeks. So I think it's a combination of missing Malik Collins, but also they're losing again, and I think a lot of guys are checking out a little bit. So,
I want your thoughts before we move on Gage Larvadane. Full scouting report. Go.
I got around to his college tape. It's funny. I was looking at projections last week and saw his name in there, and I legit had to ask Chris, "Who the hell is Gage?" I don't know who you are. That's bad.
Exactly. I mean, I may miss a guy here and there, but I mean, Jesus God, I'm working 67 hours a week on this crap. If I don't know who you are, it's bad. Moving on here, the Week 16 edition of Matchup Points at FantasyPoints.com, the LA Chargers at the Dallas Cowboys, and Brett, I'll go to you. You said it last week, and boy, that seemed to be the case. That the offense is it still broke?
Yeah, I mean, you talking about the Chargers?
Yeah,
for sure. I mean, it's hard to do anything when you're missing your top 4 offensive tackles, right?
Yeah.
I will say I do love Amari and Hampton in this matchup quite a bit. I'm going to get real nerdy on you because I've started looking at rushing offenses from a different lens.
Okay.
So Hampton's averaging 6.37 yards per carry against odd fronts. Dallas uses an odd front on 65% of their plays.
All right.
And they're giving up six yards per carry on odd fronts.
Is that a light box?
That's basically 5 defensive linemen. So an extra defensive lineman instead of it's like a base look with instead of 3 linebackers, you have an extra defensive lineman. So
Gotcha.
They've been terrible, and that's what the Chargers want to come out and run the ball with the current state of things. So I think
so you get to the second level against those looks, right?
Yeah, you can for sure.
Yeah. But when you do, you probably are scampering for a little more, I would imagine.
Exactly. Yeah. Teams do it so they can sit back in too high. So the Cowboys are doing this so they can play too high and protect their corners because their corners have gotten annihilated all year. So, explosive runs for sure.
Graham, what about these receivers? I thought Ladd would have a good game. It was a good try, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, to Brett's point, I mean, this offense has just been.
You just sit him?
I don't think you can sit him though, because this matchup is so good. Like that's what I came back to is like it's Dallas. Everybody gets right against Dallas except for Justin Jefferson. Like that's kind of where I'm at with McConkey. The offense is still just super limited because Herbert really can't go under center. They did a little more last week, I think, but yeah, I mean it's been really bad. I think I like Aronde Gadsden again this week.
Yeah, he's the only one. The Trey Harris thing is not fun.
Well, yeah, I mean, we'll see if they get Quentin Johnston back. He's been dealing with a couple of injuries. That would obviously kill Trey Harris. Keenan Allen's just been dead since, I don't know, that big game against the Colts midseason. He's been dead since then.
He's just there for NFL purposes.
Yeah.
For football purposes.
He's there when Herbert needs a third down.
Right.
He comes on the field, he runs a sick route on third down, and he goes back to the bench. I like Gadsden a little more. I've been writing him up as a sit for the last 3 weeks. Just 3 really tough matchups. This is obviously not that. Cowboys season obviously has circled the drain already, and we'll see at least a good game. I think we'll see a good game from Herbert here, just because this matchup is so good with the secondary.
I don't know if anyone else has said it, Brett, but this may be Dak Prescott's best season, his most even season. It feels like he's
impressive.
Yeah, it is. I think it's the best. It feels like he's the same damn guy every single week, and that guy's pretty damn good.
He's been unbelievable, honestly.
Yeah. There it is. Well, that was another one. I vibed it out when I interviewed Dak Prescott at the Combine. I came back and said on SiriusXM, I'm like, you know what? Do not doubt that guy. That man is serious as hell. He is a businessman out there, and he's serious about, doing well, all that. And, well, that's happening. What about George, man?
Yeah,
is George dead?
I was just about to say it. I mean, Dak's thrown for nearly 700 yards in the last 2 weeks, and Pickens has done nothing,
DK Pickens?
Oh, man. Do you think he runs a route with any semblance of intent for the next 3 weeks? He's already put all his tape on for 2026.
Here's the scary thing, Graham. The Eagles play before the Cowboys. They play Saturday. If the Eagles win and wrap up the division, Cowboys are basically out. So
they're already out. Dak is going to treat this like he'll play, but I don't know if Pickens will. Lamb will play. I don't know if Pickens will really be super motivated.
I mean, this is quite a turnaround. I mean, it was literally just 2 weeks ago where we're like, the man's unstoppable.
He is unstoppable when he wants to try. I know. He's not really tried super hard in my eye the last couple of weeks.
I'm telling you, maybe it's the talk of the franchise tag. All of a sudden, they start talking about reports about the slapping the franchise tag. All of a sudden, he fell off a cliff. I don't. What else is there?
Yeah,
bizarre. But
my note in this game though is this is like last week, another really good spot for Lamb. Vikings played a ton of too high last week. Chargers also play a lot of too high. Yeah, same note as last week. Pickens really has kind of struggled. He's way more of their single high guy. So we're sitting here talking about vibes with Pickens, but it's also kind of a tough matchup for him too. Chargers have been really stingy against outside wide receivers.
Yeah, and it's decent enough for Dak. So to your point, CD game like it was last week, which I figured as much that week. I really liked Javonte last week, and based on I thought they had to commit to the run, which they tried their best. He looked good, man. How about Javonte, Brett? We haven't talked about him in a little while here, but I could see him getting a lot of work in this one as they look to run the rock against a tough pass defense. And by the way, Javonte, there's been absolutely no slowdown. He's been the exact same guy pretty much every week, as far as my eyeball test.
Yeah, he's reinvented himself in kind of a cool way. He's a grinder for sure.
Yeah.
Dallas has been a lot better against the run lately, but Graham pointed out the schematic matchup for Lamb. Well, anytime there's a schematic matchup for Lamb, that typically coincides with a good one for Javonte as well, just by the nature of too high coverages.
Sure.
So I think, this is for sure a good spot for Javonte. Chargers have also been stingy the last 5 weeks, despite not being very good on the season total. But I do think Dallas is so good at staying ahead of the chains.
They are
down in distance. I think that's going to help Javonte and Lamb. For sure.
You know what? My favorite running back to reinvent himself as a grinder, as a guy I actually know personally, Clinton Portis.
Oh, yeah.
My guy.
Yeah, he did. He had some serious juice early in his career.
He's the man. He had massive juice.
Yeah.
Loved the juice. And then he was just grinding out 330 carries for Joe Gibbs.
Yeah.
Anywho, moving on, I have a picture of Clinton. I interviewed him in 2003. There was no other fantasy person ever interviewed a player before. It was 20 plus years ago. And then, he won the Rookie of the Year and all that. And then it's like 18 years later, he came on the Direct TV show. I have a picture of me and him with the magazine. So it was nice, I know he had some financial problems, so hopefully he's doing all right there, Clinton Portis. But I love that dude, man. He claims, and Frank Gore backs it up, by the way, that he taught Frank Gore everything he knows about football. and Frank Gore doesn't deny it either.
Oh, wow.
Because I actually asked Frank, I'm like, Clinton Portis says he taught you everything you know. He's like, yeah, that's pretty much right. I'm like, all right. Moving on. Sorry about that. Cincinnati at Miami. Well, start with the quarterback change here. I don't think it matters as it relates to Devon Achane. They're going to hand the ball off to Achane 29 times. Brett, what do you think?
At least 29 times. I'd even say maybe 30 in this one. Cincinnati's they've been bad against the run all year. They've been literally consistently the second worst run defense since week 1. So it's great. They're giving up 142 yards a game to running backs, 20 explosive runs the last 5 weeks, which is absurd. That's 4 a game, guys. Whatever Achane's prop is, probably smash it. I didn't see it released yet this morning when I looked. It's out there.
Yeah, no doubt. Good schematic matchup too. He's averaging 6.71 yards per carry on those man runs, those man gap runs. 4th best success rate. Yeah, but Graham, we can't start Jalen Waddle, correct?
Not with any confidence. I mean, he's kind of been trending down these last couple weeks. Obviously, that's quarterback driven, and now he's got a pretty tough individual matchup with DJ Turner. I don't know if Turner's going to shadow, but he's like the only good player on the Bengals right now in terms of their defense. Yeah, he's been awesome, man. Brett, do you think he shadows? Waddle does play a little bit.
I think we are projecting it.
Okay.
Yeah, Turner's shadowed pretty much everybody.
Yeah, then there you go. Yeah, I'll be sitting Waddle. Darren Waller, obviously, awesome play. Quinn Ewers struggled really badly with accuracy. It just kind of came and went for him at Texas, but he had a good tight end in Gunnar Helm. He was able to hit a few times. Obviously, this is just a best possible matchup here for Waller.
Waller can still ball. It's kind of weird.
He's
crazy.
He is still so fast, Brett. I did not expect that. Like, he looked uncoverable. Honestly.
Yeah, he gets on top of safeties so fast they don't even know what hit him. It's kind of nuts. I'm like,
I hope he doesn't retire. Really, it seems like he's got a couple more good years.
The year off. I've talked to a number of NFL players. They all say a year off is like ridiculously hard to come off. Well, not in this case.
Well, he dealt with so many injuries. I wonder if that year off did benefit him.
100%. As someone who was in on him that freaking year with the Giants, thinking he was going to be awesome, and he wasn't. Ruined my season.
Too, so
well, any other thoughts on Bengals, start him if you got him. I'm not worried about the matchup here. Obviously, Chase Brown continues to get it done. We'll see about Higgins. The only problem with Waller is my luck. Freaking Greg Dulcich will score 2 touchdowns because he's still involved. But that was a tough evaluation last week. I wanted to kind of go in on Waller, but it was like that was a little bit of a leap of faith. Well, not now after he scored 2 touchdowns. So there's that. Move on to the Jets at the Saints. The weekly Tyler Shuck check-in. Brett, I continue to look at a professional quarterback who a little rough around the edges, but running all over the place, and I think he's still got a chance to be their guy.
Hey, he looks good. He's getting better and better, man. He looks really good. So,
you know who looked good was Devon Villay, man.
I thought he looked good last year with Denver too. I was surprised.
Oh yeah,
he's moved on from him.
It's almost weird
that trade was like you can't turn down that trade if you're Denver. But yeah,
it's almost weird that he gets traded and then he's dead for. It was almost like he had to take a 5-week seminar on the offense, and then he passed the test, and all of a sudden he's good.
Yeah.
You know,
they're kind of using him in the same role they were using Juwan Johnson in early in the year. Unfortunately for Juwan Johnson, but
I confused him for Juwan Johnson on a play.
There you go.
Last week. All right. Well, Olave. Hey, he's not holding Olave back. You know, by the way, Graham, Olave, low key, one of the best values of the year.
Oh yeah,
paid too.
Yep. Yeah, he's about to get paid. I was dead wrong on Olave this year. I just thought this offense would be really bad and the quarterback play would be really bad, and I was wrong. Rattler, was held down the fort. Shuck's been a slight upgrade. I think he's just more aggressive, which has helped Olave, especially downfield. So that's been great. Jets side, my only note is that I think Cook might be decent for A.D. Mitchell. He got the ball out within time and rhythm. I know it was a pretty good matchup last week against the Jags. I couldn't really get super stoked because we hadn't seen Cook at all, obviously. He gets another decent matchup here too. Jets, they can't run the ball right now. I think Breece Hall's hurt. He's got this knee injury. They played a ton of Isaiah Davis in garbage time last week. Kind of kills Breece, unfortunately, these next couple weeks if you're still rocking Breece. But yeah, A.D. Mitchell, I think, is legitimately in play this week.
I mean, at this point, not everyone goes off every week, right? Even stars. So at this point, the guy gets a boatload of targets every week. He kind of does it every week, except for that
6
one
or more
game.
Targets in 5 straight, John. I mean, he's just been, he had one bad game against the Patriots, obviously hammered the Falcons. He did not play particularly well against Miami 2 weeks ago. It's still A.D. Mitchell, but yeah, to your point, the volume's been really good.
He's led them in target shares every week since the trade.
Yeah. Much as I like John Mechie, he's involved, but he's boring. If you want 4 for 29, then have at it. At least Mitchell gets downfield love, red zone love. If Devin Neal should go, Brett, how you liking Devin Neal? I see him getting better and better every week as a runner.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with Devin Neal. It's the Saints O-line is just, no efficiency as a running team. It's kind of crazy. So I don't trust their O-line to move any piles. The Jets have been bad against the run, though, I guess, since they've traded Quinnen.
Right.
Yeah, they've been okay.
They've been okay, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, middle of the pack. So that's an Aaron Glenn thing that they commit a lot of bodies to the run game. Usually a stacked box. So.
Yeah, they did a good job on ETN. Obviously not in the pass game last week, but they did a really good job against the run last week.
Oh, that was so frustrating. Are you kidding me? I played that prop. I'm never playing another ETN prop ever. I'm holding a grudge, man. It's unbelievable. 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
We got to talk about the early bird subscription plan. It is live. Fantasy Points 2026 early bird. Rock and roll it. You get it now because it'll never be cheaper. Get the rest of 25 and all of 2026 for the lowest price we'll offer all season, 20% off your selected package. So just go there and pick out the package that you want. The discount applies new for 26. We are splitting out in-season NFL betting into its own new package. But as a reward for our loyal subscribers, any Fantasy Pro or Fantasy Bundle subscribers will get our new package included for all of 2026 at no additional cost. But if you take advantage of the early bird special and purchase a Fantasy Pro or Fantasy Bundle subscription, make sure you lock in the best rate and the best deal before it expires. Super Bowl Sunday. It's a very easy date to remember. It's 20% off any Fantasy Point subscription. And just for you guys and girls, throwing in an extra 5% off with the code The Worm. One word, no spaces, the Worm, now through Super Bowl Sunday, the Fantasy Points Early Bird Special. Graham, I asked Thomas Tipple this question, and kind of breaking his chops, but do you happen to know who does the best worm in Major League Baseball? I'll give you a hint. He's a Dodger. And you wouldn't expect it.
I'm going to go Mookie Betts. I mean, he's a great athlete. Who is it?
Frederick Freeman.
Really?
Does a worm like you wouldn't believe. And he's 6'5".
Huge.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's huge.
That's why everybody always asks him to do the worm. Just Google after the thing. Freddie Freeman worm. It's unbelievable. You've never seen a guy do a worm better than this guy.
Great worm and great chompers, John. Those chompers are unbelievable.
Chompers. I mean, he goes to the dentist from like a block away. Yeah, you look good. Okay. Let's move on to Minnesota at the Giants. And I know it's my team, all that crap. I always have to worry because I don't want to never give up on a guy that's my guy, but I didn't fully give up on McCarthy, and I'm glad because we're getting better, Brett. No coincidence that the offensive line is looking good. So here we go. This is an optimal spot for JJ McCarthy. Maybe they run for 3-4 touchdowns and he doesn't have a big day, but other than that, and in an injury, I'd be shocked if JJ didn't have another good day.
Yeah, he's been great the last 2 weeks. He's number 2 in EPA per dropback the last 2 weeks. No turnover-worthy throws, no sacks taken that we attributed to him as being the fault for the sack. So, yeah, he looks good. He's getting better. He's 4-4 as a starter. I know QB wins is not a thing we really do, but
yeah, exactly.
People threw the baby out with the bathwater on JJ. I think about Caleb Williams after his first 8 starts. What did he look like? And
yeah,
a little bit worse than JJ McCarthy did. So how about that?
I've been saying that, don't look now, but he's kind of winning.
Yeah.
I understand a lot of people are, very short patience, small patience and all that, but it's a process. Now look, still has a ways to go.
Yes, he does.
The mechanics, the touch still need to improve, but he does have the moxie that the Vikings need. This is what I've been focusing on the whole time. Yeah. But what do you see with Jefferson? I feel like it's now both their fault. I think just JJ's nervous throwing to him and Justin's just being a little butthurt.
Yeah, Jefferson's literally dropped 4 touchdowns this year.
The last drop this past weekend was really bad.
Yeah, that was a clear drop to in the hands. The other ones are more kind of contested situations, tight coverage. Right. This one was he was open, ball hit him in the hands, and he didn't catch it. So it's definitely it's almost like you can feel the tension when the ball is getting thrown to him. Oh, is this going to be a good throw?
Right. Meanwhile, again, not to belabor the point, my thought was go inside with it, and that's why I liked Hawkinson. And what is he doing? Throwing inside with a lot of success.
Well, you called it. You said he needs to start throwing to Hawkinson. He has, and he's looked a lot better. You look at his first read rate too. It's early in the year, early in his first 5 starts, it was 63%. He's got that way up to near 80%. And then he's checking the ball down. So getting the ball out faster, hitting his check down. And you know what? His catchable ball rate's tripled the last 2 weeks. So.
Right. Yeah. And by the way, again, I think in this one of the main reasons I'm very confident is they're going to run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're going to run the ball well in this game. And then it's just going to be pretty easy, I think. Graham, what are your thoughts? Anything here?
I wish we had one of these backs that we could trust because to your point, I mean, this is the best matchup on the board. Giants last 8 weeks, nearly giving up 6 yards per carry. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I mentioned earlier in the show that run that JCM had. I mean, it was seriously an unbelievable run.
Yeah.
Just in terms of the hole that was generated. Vikings, they're going to be able to run the ball, that's for sure. I have no clue. Literally no clue.
How about this?
Their backfield. I mean, it's going to be split between Mason and Jones. That's for sure.
The Vikings get 2.17 yards before contact. Giants give up 2.89, which is the most in football. They give up 7.7 yards per carry on man gap runs, the most. A 56% success rate, 7th highest. Jordan Mason, 65% success rate on those runs the last 5 weeks, 11th best out of 100 running backs.
Wow.
I think it's a Jordan Mason game.
Okay, well, there you go. Yeah, I mean, I buy it in terms of his run style as well. Yeah, switching over the Giants side real quick, my only real note is that Wan'Dale Robinson is like, we've been talking about this for a number of weeks, but like his target share is absurd. He had another good game this past week, but he might literally get all the targets in this game. Obviously, Vikings play the most too high in the league. Robinson getting targeted on 26% of his routes against too high. No one else on the Giants is over 20%. Theo Johnson's actually second on this team. Darius Slayton basically goes to the bench against too high coverages. His efficiency is so bad against too high. He's basically just, cover one, cover three beater when he gets single high looks.
Go ball runner.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, he's running a ton of clear outs, that's for sure. But yeah, I think this is another clear spot for Wan'Dale Robinson. This game, if JJ plays well again, this game certainly has some upside to shoot out because obviously, Dart is capable of extending plays, making big plays. We don't have a whole lot of shootout games in this 1 p.m. window, John. I think this might be one of them.
This is it. I'm telling you right now.
This could be one of them.
This will be one of them. You know what the other element is I like? They're not playing at home. I said that last week. I'm like, good. Where's this game, Dow? Good. Because I think there's more pressure on him playing at home.
Yeah.
If he plays well in this game, then I think the fans will be like, all right, we know we're dead this year, but we got our guy, maybe. And I think they'll play well.
Great. I wanted to ask you something. I know we don't do this on the show, but what kind of money do you think Wan'Dale's going to get in the offseason?
Yeah.
Like, this is crazy. He's leading the NFL in target share since week 10.
Yeah, and I clowned him for kind of not being like he can't run deep, but he's proven that this year too. He's like legitimately taking the next step. Yeah, he's going to get paid. You're right. He'll probably get paid like there. Dude, he might get paid like top 25 wide receiver money in terms of.
I think he'll get like 18 million a year kind of thing.
Yeah,
I was thinking
New
20.
England. I was thinking 20. So there you go.
How about New England? That's not a bad one.
Yeah, New England makes sense. Actually, New England makes a ton of sense.
Yeah,
especially if they don't bring back Diggs because they've been playing so much in the slot.
Right. How about Dart last week and as it relates to this week? Not the greatest schematic matchup for Dart.
He's got to get it done on the ground. He was in concussion protocol again though, so
got 9 carries. He just doesn't care. he's going to take off and scramble.
That's what Jim McMahon didn't care either.
Yeah.
Yep. He is Jim McMahon. I'm telling you, that's the greatest comp I've heard in such a long time. He's kind of he's a modern Jim McMahon, of course. All he has to do is get the headband on and just get that headband on.
Yep.
Goodell. Moving on to oh boy, this is a sad game. The Kansas City Chiefs, led by the Gardener, at Tennessee. I guess, Graham, for fantasy, it's not tragic for Rice and Kelsey, but anybody else, forget it, right? Xavier Worthy, forget it. That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah, Worthy's. I was about to say Worthy's been dead.
I know, but at least in theory, you could get a big play with Mahomes, but not with the Gardener.
Yeah, no. And Rashee Rice apparently has a concussion. He did not practice today. Yeah. So they might. The Chiefs could just pack it in. Honestly, they could.
They could.
Kelsey obviously trying to finish out a Hall of Fame career. I think with no Rice would be nice. Gardner came into that game and immediately just peppered Kelsey with targets. So I think it's really just Kelsey. You can't trust anybody in this run game, and especially in this matchup. Jeffrey Simmons, guys, this guy, no one is talking about it because no one watched Titans games except for us because we're degenerates and we love this. But Jeffrey Simmons might be the best interior defensive lineman in the NFL, y'all. Like
pretty good hands too.
He is unbelievable. Their run defense has basically been completely fixed since he came back. Obviously, Sweat is a big part of that as well. But dude, Jeffrey Simmons is going to shut down this Chiefs run attack.
Remember, we talked about Sweat last week, aka 3 guys.
And he's a mountain of a man.
And McCaffrey didn't do much on the ground.
No, he didn't.
That's for sure. And I can't do it with any of the receivers here. I mean, but it seemed like Cam Ward played relatively well last week, Brett.
He did, yeah. He another young quarterback that you feel like is getting better.
Right.
They got blown out by 49ers, but they were more competitive, I think, than the score showed. Like they were battling.
I agree.
Yeah. Right.
Ward has looked so good in the last month or so. I'm excited to see him with like a legitimate coaching staff and some upgraded receivers. Like,
just get him a wide receiver 1 for the love of God, please.
Yeah, like somebody who can actually generate offense on their own. Like I know we both like Eli Manor, but man, I mean, like they need a 1 for sure.
Yeah, you look at your 2 and your 3, and then go get a 1.
What was it? Was there a comp of note on Ward? Because I like comps. But I nothing comes to me.
I mean, the arm talent was always great with him. It's never been a question.
Yeah, I said he was like poor man's Stafford.
Oh, okay. All right. That's pretty interesting. All right, let's move on to Atlanta at Arizona. Looks like they're going to get Drake London. So this could be a pretty high scoring game. We do have a top 5 total on the board here, Graham, 47.5. Backfield thoughts. I say, look, sometimes you just have to be decisive. And I'd say let's decisively just go Michael Carter or bust in the backfield.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. They kind of did lean that way, now they'll get DeMarcado back to kind of playing that pass game role. If you need Carter as a low end flex, I think it makes sense, especially in this matchup. Man, Jacoby Brissett, dude, just a kingmaker. He's every week finishing as a top 12 fantasy quarterback in weekly scoring. Obviously, he's turned Trey McBride into the greatest fantasy tight end of all time.
That may have been his best game ever last week.
It was. It objectively was. I mean, he looks unstoppable, and Brissett obviously is just putting the ball in the right spots the whole time. I wanted to talk real quickly about Atlanta. I mean, Arizona's just like straightforward. You're playing McBride, you're playing Wilson. We'll see if they get Marvin Harrison back this week. He did practice today, but I mean, he could be in a limited role. Atlanta's side is a lot more interesting because Kyle Pitts is coming off the best game of his career. He looks, I was saying a couple weeks ago, he looked really good. Looked like he kind of had the speed back, but why would Atlanta keep Drake London on the roster if not to like unleash him in this matchup? I know PCL injuries can be really tricky, but I kind of just want to go all in on London in this matchup because this Cardinals secondary, they're just asking to get destroyed. They just haven't really gotten destroyed yet.
It's been a slow burn. They've slowly gotten worse and worse. Last 5 weeks, 8.27 yards per attempt allowed. They're 5th worst in terms of EPA per drawback allowed, and 29 explosives in the last 5 weeks. So I mean, kind of agree. If London goes, man, he's a must start.
I mean, Puka got him, but Puka gets everybody. Puka can go off in any matchup.
They've had some injuries too.
Yeah, they just seem like. I mean, if London's full go, check the practice reports on Friday. But if he's full go, I just think you trust him as top 5 wide receiver this week.
By the way, Brad, not for nothing. I know there are schemes out there and teams play certain ways, but the fact that they let Kyle Pitts run wild was egregious. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't change your scheme. Whatever the hell your scheme is, you got one guy to worry about, and they just let him run wild. That was repugnant last week. Am I overreacting a little bit? Maybe a little.
I mean, I think we got to give Pitt some credit because he did it a variety of ways too.
He did
it with route running. He did it with a run after catch on a play, and then he did it. He had a 2-way go against a safety and too high, and he just absolutely cooked him. So I mean,
he got all free releases.
That was the closest thing I've seen to Florida Kyle Pitts in the NFL, basically since his rookie season.
Guys, he has a chance to eclipse his rookie totals and receiving yards. Obviously, the touchdowns have been there. He's having a career year. He's only 25 years old.
I know, it's crazy.
He's another guy who's going to get paid a lot.
I might he might be a really good value pick next year. Especially if he goes to the right spot.
Well, are we assuming he's leaving?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
yeah. Because the right spot may not be with Michael Penix.
I mean, Atlanta's about to be in a middle of rebuild, I think. I mean, Cousins
should be. Yeah.
They should clean house, right? That's kind of why I was thinking. I don't think Pitts is back.
I thought they were in a rebuild.
Oh, fair point. They're going to be in another rebuild. Sorry, Trey.
A rebuild of a rebuild.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of young defensive players, young quarterback, young
defense
receiver.
is certainly trending up. I mean, they don't have a quarterback. Penix, you can't
though.
Yeah, you can't trust Penix long term.
And that Penix thing is really going to come back to bite him in the rear because it was an overpay as well, and kind of a luxury buy. How's Kirky look? Kirky looks kind of good.
Yeah, I think he's playing himself into a job next year. I think.
Absolutely, he is. It's probably gonna be like in Pittsburgh or something.
I want him to go back to Minnesota. That'd be so perfect. It'd be perfect with McCarthy.
Don't slander
No,
like that. Come on, now.
No, it would make so much sense from the Vikings' perspective though.
I mean, as a backup, if he's going to admit to be a backup, great. But I don't want Kirk Cousins anywhere near the starting lineup for the Vikings. I'll go 0-16, 17 for a year.
As a fan, I know why. I mean, I get what you're saying, but
yeah, it's just like Darnold. We have 0% chance of winning Super Bowl with Sam Darnold. 0.
That's fair. Yeah, that's right.
And 0.0001 with Kirky. So let's just go JJ or bust. Let's also go to the Jaguars at the Broncos. And Graham, you know me, man. I'm a big body language guy. Trevor Lawrence has never been happier in his life than he is right now. He is loving life.
Yeah, I've been saying it for a few weeks. He's really started to trend up. It started in that Chargers game. He made some really great throws. Obviously, he struggled against Arizona, made some boneheaded picks in the red zone. But, man, since then, he's been very clean. I think last week was the best game I've ever seen him play. He had
decisive,
ridiculous second reaction throws. I think his it's just full command of the offense. Everybody's talking about Lawrence and how well he's playing. I got to give Jacoby Myers a lot of credit, though, man. Like, having a functional receiver who is open within time, within rhythm, has really unlocked this offense. It's unlocked Lawrence.
Yeah. BTJ. It's helped BTJ.
It's helped BTJ.
Yeah,
it's helped everybody
for sure.
Offense. So this is the test, though. Go into Denver against this pass rush with Surtain, with these corners who can run. This is a huge, huge test. Like, I've been on Lawrence for a couple of weeks now for fantasy, John, and I'm kind of skittish this week just because of this matchup.
It's not a bad schematic matchup, but Brett, like, I feel like Denver will be all over those slower receivers.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. The elephant in the room with the Lawrence talk too. He's been outstanding for like 5 games now, like the best stretch of his career by far. But you've played the Raiders, the Cardinals, the Titans, a busted Colts team, and the
That's
Jets.
true. That is true.
Yeah, I think he had the Chargers in there too, and he played good in that game. So
he did. That was a good one.
But to Graham's point, this is the test. Cool. You annihilated everybody you're supposed to annihilate. Now let's go do it against Denver now. And then and he doesn't have to play amazing. I don't even need amazing. I just need good. Give me good, and then I'll rebuy into Trevor Lawrence for sure.
Don't look now, but I think Brenton Strange will reemerge a little bit here this week. Good schematic. He actually does well against man.
I love Strange. Like, we were talking about Jacoby Myers helping the offense. The collection of parts they have is actually really exciting.
It is.
Myers is the route runner, the possession guy you can count on with BTJ and the explosives, and then you have the underneath demons in Strange and Parker Washington. It's a really nice collection of parts out of nowhere, kind of, it feels like.
Was Bo Nix's performance last week out of nowhere? I mean, you got to give credit where credit is due. It seemed like he handled everything Green Bay had to throw at him.
I thought he was honestly terrible.
Really?
He had 5 turnover-worthy throws. All 5 of them were dropped by the Green Bay defense.
Oh,
he threw it right to a defender. I mean, obviously the stat line was fantastic for fantasy.
Yeah.
Okay. But he got lucky a million times in that game.
Yeah, I honestly didn't go back and watch that one. Because I can't stand the Broncos. I hate to say it. I'm disgusted. I can't stand them. They're very annoying.
Yeah. They are the toughest, like, really great team. I mean, they're the number 1 seed in the AFC to watch. I can remember in a very long time. Even the Chiefs, like last year. I mean, they've got 12 wins. The Chiefs were really boring to watch, but they were still better than this. For this week, though, I'm back in on Bo Nix. This Jack secondary has gotten flamed all year. I know he's not played particularly well, but this game has clear shootout potential, especially if Lawrence continues to play well.
I mean, Brady Cook was cooking against them.
Exactly. Yeah, I think you play Nix this week in fantasy for sure.
Yeah.
Sorry, he had 4 turnover-worthy throws. My bad.
Yeah, he was still not good. Like. They got lucky winning that game. Again, they got some black magic, kind of like the Chiefs did last year. But
how about Harvey?
Still looks good.
Looks good, yeah.
Yeah, Jags' run defense is awesome, though.
Yeah, it is. But it feels like Harvey is like he's a legit primary runner.
Well, he fumbled the ball. Parsons stripped him. What was that on their first possession? Then he got benched on the second possession. Then I love that Sean Payton went back to him and gave him like 18 carries for the rest of the game.
I mean, he's still, Brett, at the end of the day, is it fair to say he's a dual backfield guy?
Yeah, I think ideally I'd call him a lead back in like a 65-35 would probably be ideal for him.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. And well, Cortland Sutton, start him, apparently. Yeah, I mean, I didn't like him last week, and he balled the F out along with Bo Nix. Let's go to big one here. Pittsburgh, Detroit. We've got the highest total on the board. Brett, you are Mr. Detroit. I guess basically I think the easy way to say is they're going to beat their ass, and Goff in the running game and the two receivers are going to do well.
Yeah, I fully agree. Detroit's the highest individual team total on the slate as well. Goff, since the Lions have been in this back against the wall situation, and I know they lost against the Rams, but they did hang 34 on the number one defense in the NFL. Goff's been playing out of his mind since Thanksgiving, really. So, yeah, I love Goff, Amon-Ra, and J-Mo in this matchup. I have the over. I'm taking the over on all of their props, actually. I know you like the backs, too. I think the backs should be perfectly fine as well in this game. Pittsburgh's been really up and down as a run defense all year. But, man, Pittsburgh plays a lot of single high, and J-Mo is the absolute single high killer. Since Dan Campbell's taken over as the play caller, J-Mo's averaging 5 yards per route run against single high coverages. It's freaking ridiculous. So, J-Mo, I keep saying this, he's had like a really good season very quietly.
Yeah, very quietly.
In receiving yards and top 10 in receiving yards and top 10 in receiving touchdowns. And like people are talking about him like he's been a disappointment. It's kind of funny.
He's gonna have another 1,000-yard season, like easily.
Yeah.
Probably 1,100 and maybe 9 touchdowns.
Yep.
Oh, he was on my top 12 player targets, and I was worried about it, but it's going to go down. Believe me, I'll be bragging about that as a win because he's getting it done for sure. He's top 20. He's beating his ADP. I think
he's a borderline wide receiver 1 for the rest of the season. With the way receivers kind of been,
right.
That
killed. Laporta injury was freaking huge for him.
That's maybe. I mean, Dan took over the play calling duties because they weren't getting the ball enough. It's like, dude, we have a freaking Ferrari in the garage. Get it out, please.
That's true. No, 100%, man. 100%. What about Pittsburgh? What's your confidence level? I guess with what's his face out, the DB.
Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch.
Branch. I don't know why I kept thinking.
The whole secondary is hurt again now.
Exactly.
My confidence level in Pittsburgh is very low. My confidence level in Detroit Lions defense is also very low. Something's going to have to give in this one, So I think Kenny Gainwell could have a really nice day.
He looked freaking great last week, Graham. He really did.
Yeah, and it's obviously it's crushed Warren. They've been giving Gainwell all the passing down work for weeks now, but that was especially the case last week. He got a bunch of dump offs underneath. I don't really have much on the Steelers side. I think Metcalf is a pretty good play again, though. Lions obviously just really struggling in the secondary. He's really picked it up the last 2 weeks. It was like right when we were like completely out on him. We've been out on Metcalf all year, but then we all kind of gave up after that Bills game. He got the huge target share against the Ravens. Didn't get a huge target share last week, but I thought he looked great. That touchdown was awesome. That was
good.
Really like strong run after catch that we've seen from Metcalf his entire career. And to Brett's point, Lions are just completely beat up in the secondary.
Yeah, completely. Yeah, Brian Branch, man, that's a big loss, man.
He's awesome.
Everywhere.
You have 2 all-pro safeties, and they played a combined total of 7 games this year.
They'll need football Fabio to step up more. Anzalone,
Yeah.
I don't know why I just like that nickname because every time I look at him, I'm like, dude looks like Fabio out there. Let's be honest here. The Las Vegas Raiders at the Houston Texans, and hey, shout out Jacoby Brissett, Trey McBride. You crushed it last week, but Kenny Pickett and Brock Bowers. I said earlier, this is mean, but I said earlier that Brock Bowers is playing to his hairline. Basically, he's playing like a 35-year-old out there with Geno Smith and or Kenny Pickett. Any thoughts here on the Raiders, Brett?
I think they have. They had 75 yards of total offense last week against the Eagles defense that's been beat up a little bit.
Gentsy's dead.
Did they get 50 this week, Brett? Over under 49.5.
Dude, I don't. This is so bad. Oh man, I don't know. This is really bad. So,
their implied point team total is 11.8. I don't think I've ever seen one lower. I'd have to go through my spreadsheets, but I don't think I've seen one lower.
You know what's crazy? They've done the less than 100 yards of total offense this year twice.
Yeah, that Chiefs game, right?
Yeah. So there's another one right here where they're probably going to go under 100. It's
Genty's rushing props like over 9.5 yards now. So it's not that bad.
He's going to have a 14.5 rush attempt total with 9.5 yards.
No, exactly. Rush attempts over 8.5. It's like, I can't do it. I'm taking the under. Good Lord. But I tell you what, Brett, I really liked Stroud last week. Nico Collins was my number one prop. And dude scored a 57-yarder on the second play of the game. And then he almost didn't hit it, but then he did. But I know you think you watch the film, it's probably not as good as it looks just more in passing, but I feel like they're dangerous.
I agree with you on this one. Yeah, Stroud looked awesome last week. That was the crispiest he's looked probably this season.
That was rookie season Stroud.
Yeah. I mean, ball out a little bit quicker than it's been, and then just the precision. Some of the throws he made were just even like 10-yard throws. I was and on over.
I think they're making the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
they could.
Who's going to beat them?
Wide open.
They already beat the shit out of the Bills.
I tell you what, Graham, your Jags, it's the way it's lining up. They might have to play the Texans in the first round of the playoffs. Nobody wants that.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
No one wants to play the Texans in the wild card round. That defense is nasty.
The game will be in Jacksonville, but I think we'd be a slight dog.
I mean, they could win it all here. They can beat.
We'd probably be 2.5-point dogs. I bet in that game.
It's
I can't
wild.
confidently say Buffalo or Denver beats them in a playoff situation. I mean, Stroud's won playoff games in back-to-back years too. I mean,
that's what I'm saying, guys. The Texans are making the Super Bowl. That's my call. I'm making it. Adjusting it. I did pick the Bills this summer, and the Vikings. But
I picked Broncos Rams, and actually, I think my main pick was Ravens Rams, which is still live. But my sleeper was Broncos.
No, one of the reasons I went crazy on the Vikings is because I did see a huge opportunity in 2025, and it's there, baby. It is there. I mean, if the Vikings, if they were in year 2 of this thing, they could have done what I said they were going to do, but it was a little year too early. But Graham, real quick on the backfield, like I looked into it. If Woody is out, I think, and Chubb is in, I think Chubb could do well.
Woody would have gone for 150 yards last week if he didn't tweak his ankle. This guy spends like he's like the new Jalen Waddle. He takes a weekly trip to the Blue Medical tent. It seems like a minor injury. I think I read a quote from D'Amico Ryans saying he could have come back in the game if they didn't blow him out. I mean, this is if Woody can stay on the field, this is another amazing spot. They're huge favorites against, Raiders' run defense has played well, but like,
forget it.
Yeah,
14.5 points.
Yeah, they're 14-point underdogs. Like they're gonna get smoked.
Yeah, well, that's it on that. Bench Dalton Schultz at your own peril. That's
he does it every week, John.
Every week, man.
I was off of him last week, and I kicked myself. I thought of you because he caught another 8 balls, 7 balls.
I mean, he was
8 balls.
unstoppable. It's ridiculous how out of kind of nowhere in like year 7 he's playing his best ball.
He's
by the way,
check down in their offense.
He's what?
He's the check down in their offense.
100%.
Teams use the back as a check down. It's the tight end for them.
He's kind of converted himself into the Jake Ferguson kind of guy,
Yeah.
Well,
Jake Ferguson died so Dalton Schultz could live.
Well, I mean, to be fair, like Jake Ferguson replaced Schultz in Dallas.
No, I know, yeah.
Yeah, they're using Schultz the same exact way.
There's so many levels to the Ferguson.
They're comparable players, I think. They're not great athletes by any stretch. Solid, but
just zone beaters, good zone beaters. I think Ferguson can run a little more, but
a little bit more. Yeah, I like Houston again here. Houston has very few problems right now, and we move on to New England and Baltimore. How about this stat here in this data? I'm looking up the running back stuff. Baltimore blocking up 3.09 yards before contact, first in the NFL. Pats now give up 2, which is 19th most. Over the last 5 weeks, the Pats have given up the highest success rate in the league on man gap runs, 69%. 5.97 yards per carry, 4th worst. Derrick Henry in that span averaging 7.47 yards per carry on those runs with the most touchdowns and rushing yards. So it does look good for Henry, but I feel like the Ravens last week, Brett, actually looked like the Ravens.
I still think Lamar looks a little busted, but and I don't know how you go into a game plan in Cincinnati without a directive of we're going to get our tight ends. The football,
Right.
I mean, that part's weird. But Derrick Henry, I mean, it definitely looked like Henry o'clock last week, where I mean, it was that time of year where they just grinded him. But
Right.
yeah, Lamar still looks a little off to me. But
I just got to say, that was one of the weirdest games from just an overall like production standpoint. The Ravens had the ball for 20 minutes. Literally, the Bengals had the ball the entire game, like literally the entire game. The Ravens ran 40 plays and they won 24-0.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the hell?
That pick six, right?
Yeah, it was the pick six. Burrow's pick six obviously changed a lot of that. Yeah. They got the ball immediately back and had a long drive. But yeah, I mean, it was one of the weirdest game environments of the season, I think. This is a totally different spot. If you've got Ravens and you survived last week, you got Lamar, you got Henry. John, that stat on Henry is incredible. But, I mean, this is obviously a game. We have very few games this week. I've been saying it on the show a few times, but very few games that have shootout potential. This is certainly one of them.
Granted, it's nearly impossible to figure out which Patriot receiver to play.
Well, it's not Diggs. They're just not playing him. And Brett, I wanted to ask you about this. Like, why is that? He's got a 50% route share basically the last 3 weeks. Like, they're playing Hollins and Boutte. I get playing one of them over Diggs. Why isn't he playing more?
I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. But I went into the tape to watch to see if there's something I could see, and maybe like he's lacking explosiveness. Well, I didn't see that either. He had a route early in that game last week where he cooked.
Yeah, he had his hand. He had his hand up, like in the middle of the route.
Yeah, he mailboxed him like that would have been an 80-yard touchdown.
Yep.
And
I think he looks all right. They just don't throw to him.
It's weird. I don't know.
Yeah. Brett, I remember that play, and he turned it down. I don't know if May turned it down or he didn't see it, but he
never
threw it to
came
Mac.
His first read was Hollins out to the left.
Yeah.
And then he almost threw a pick on that play actually.
Yeah.
Tougher matchup on the ground for the running backs. But
how do you not just go all in on Trevion Henderson if you're the Patriots, though?
Sure. I wouldn't. I'd probably just forget about Ramondre.
That's what I'm saying. Just go all in on this dude.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know.
The first long run was a huge hole. That second run, though, that was special.
Nasty.
Yeah, that was special. Yeah, I don't know about the tight ends here for the Ravens after last week's debacle. I mean, come on.
Yeah, you just bench him. I don't think you can play him.
No. Yeah. I do like Zay Flowers, even though he'll see Gonzalez. I'm not that worried about Gonzalez, Brett. He's good. I know he's good, but he gets beat.
He gets beaten. The Patriots pass rush has become a massive issue. They have none.
By the way, why don't they get Judon? He just got cut. I don't know. Maybe there's something going on with Judon.
Yeah, Judon he hasn't been good since he left New England, unfortunately. But yeah, right. I mean that might not be a bad pair though. Kind of fits the system a little bit. So
yeah,
they definitely could use some help.
Hey, Aaron Rodgers is still worried about him. You hear him barking out his name pre-snap. He's like, Judon. He's still worried about him. All right. And then the final game, all 16 games, San Francisco at Indy. I think this is a great spot for the Niners and Purdy. They don't rush the passer all that well, all that. What about Phil? Brett, back to you here. Just filter your Phil. Filter it through a fantasy filter, and is it? I say Alec Pierce is dead. Number one, I'll start there. That's my opinion. But what do you think?
I definitely see why you're leaning that direction. I'm probably there with you. I do want to see how this week goes because San Francisco has literally no pass rush.
Right.
So the difference between Seattle and San Francisco is stark. Like Seattle
that is true.
Disgusting.
Fair
San
point.
Francisco does not have that. So we'll see. I mean,
but can Phil throw it 50 yards even against no pressure?
Well, it doesn't have to necessarily be 50 as long as he hits the back foot and lets it rip. We can get one in rhythm there. But that said, I'm definitely leaning Warren and Downs as Phil's guys. I mean, Phil looked good. He looked sharp. Ball came out quick.
Yeah.
I was kind of impressed with it. He took a couple hits too, and I'm like, there's no way Old Man Rivers is getting up from that. He got up and said at the end of the game he enjoyed getting hit like that after 5 years of sitting on his couch, I guess. So anyways, I was impressed. And the San Francisco defense is going to give him some opportunities to let Warren and Downs cook a little bit. So
yeah, for sure. Anything else here on this one? Like JT, here's the problem with JT. Like, it's great because Phil got him 3 grabs, but freaking Abdullah getting, what did he get, 4 or 5 last week?
Yeah, they've been playing him a little bit in passing downs. JT got 28 touches. You know?
That's true. You're right.
I've got JT on all of my best teams, and you just are thrilled with that. Yeah. What was that, Brett?
49ers run D stinks too.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a spot for him to kind of get loose potentially. Yeah, that was my only note. John, you brought up Purdy. This is he looked incredible last week. I'm gonna write him up as a must start. This is the spot for Purdy.
And Jennings kind of does it every week now. And I did like Pearsall last week.
Yeah.
I really did.
Yeah, you saw a little bit of juice from Pearsall come back last week. Kittle's obviously been Kittle for the last month, and Jennings is just a good zone beater underneath. He's been good. This is Purdy. Purdy's going to throw for 302 touchdowns in this game.
I totally see that. Totally see it. Well, that is a wrap-a-roni on 16 matchups. A lot of hashtag analysis here, and we'll wrap it up. Good luck to everybody. Make sure you head on over to fantasypoints.com for the 2026 early bird package, the special, all the details, 20% off any Fantasy Points subscription, and an extra 5% off with the code The Worm. One word, no space. Now through Super Bowl Sunday, the Fantasy Points 2026 early bird special. Happy holidays to everybody. Good luck in week 16. We will, of course, be back next week for the finale, Christmas week. For Graham Barfield and Brent Whitefield, I'm John Hansen. It's been the week 16 edition of Matchup Points at fantasypoints.com.